What's up, man?
Good morning, Joshua. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing, man?
Good. We're going to have some fun this morning.
Yeah. Are you hosting this?
Yes, I am. I'm Brian. I'm the host.
Nice to meet you, Brian. I'm Josh. I worked with Steph over at ACRP for a while, and I personal train with her.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah. What is this for?
What we do for people with intellectual disabilities or physical disabilities.
Okay.
And our program is open to anybody. As you'll see, there are people on here who don't have physical disabilities either. But that's mainly what our program is for. It's activities for people with physical and intellectual disabilities.
Cool.
And we have a huge program here at the building. We're not open because of COVID, but we usually have 50 to 60 people when we're here at the building. So, and what we like to do with our program that we're doing now is we'll have so many people, some of them will come on, but I record it and then we send it out to others to watch, and we get a lot of feedback from it that way, including other companies. So
that is great.
Yeah,
that is great. I think too, fitness at least has helped me so much in my path in my life, and you can do a lot of simple things just at home. I'm trying to find a good setup here because Steph had said a lot of people are sitting there in chairs.
Yes, and some will be in wheelchairs.
Okay, I want to just demo a little bit what I'm going to go. She said I had maybe like 15 minutes.
You know what? You've got like a minimum of 15 minutes. The way I have done it, and the way I usually do it with our guests is I want to give you as much time as possible to present what you want to and to have feedback from our people and talking back and forth to each other also. So it can be anywhere from 15 minutes to a half hour in there. There's no real rigid sentence because I have other things to add to the program, but I can throw them in or not use them if I don't need to.
Okay, so I have like why it's important to work out, and I just kind of talk about that.
Morning, Steph.
What's that?
Just saying good morning to Stephanie. I saw
Good morning. Good morning.
So you know that I'm here.
Go ahead, Josh.
Yep, and then I go over hydration, the importance of being hydrated, food a little bit, like fueling yourself for the workout, and then mindset training, thinking of like how like this is going to be fun, how this is going to benefit me, this is going to level me up, and then a little bit of stretching, go through that, put on some music, the importance of some good music to get you going. And
get you up, and it also helps you to relax because that's important for what you do. Hey, Josh, do you also do like the breathing, any deep breathing and that to work yourself into the exercise itself?
Yes. So sorry, I'm just trying to fix the lighting here.
Get it a little more direct. Huh?
So yes, breathing as well, and that's part of like the prep for it. Get your body primed for what we're about to do. And Steph had said a lot of these people don't have workout equipment, so I have some cans that everyone probably has.
Okay.
Some cat food.
All right, gotcha.
Can be used, and just going to go through some demos like bicep curls, some flies, stuff like that they can potentially follow along. And then just go through like a cool down and just, hey, maybe try this every once in a while and progress on it, stuff like that.
All right, so you can actually taper your workout to people who can just use their arms or whatever like that, just use their hands, so that because if some people in the wheelchair that can't move their legs or whatever, they want to be able to still keep fit, especially for some that have to use the arms to move the wheelchair around. That's very important. So would you do that for us also? Just focus on the separate areas.
Sure. Cool. Sounds good.
How's Megan this morning?
Good.
Good. You look good. You look happy. Have you talked with Chad this morning?
A little bit. He hasn't answered me though.
Oh, he hasn't. Okay. Okay, I didn't try him on Facebook this morning, but he said yesterday he'll be on with us because I talked with him about doing trivia with us. So
Oh, okay, good.
he loves doing that.
Yep.
He's very good at
He
it.
does.
Yeah, he is. He's good at researching. He's good at looking up things that fit. So
That's good.
Steph, I'm also going to mention the name change.
Oh.
Is that okay?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't want to confuse it.
For identification purposes, anyway,
Sure.
if nothing else. So that's,
Yeah, absolutely.
to me, that's important to do.
Oh, boy.
Could you hear, Steph, could you hear my pop-ups when they come on like that?
Yes.
Okay, because what they are is, because during the program, I keep my email and all that off, any noise or my phone. So those things will pop up on the screen for me to know if somebody's trying to get a hold of me.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay. Megan, how's work going?
Good. Busy.
Is it? Any changes going on up there?
Nope, it's the same.
It's just okay. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Hopefully it's good, right? The more consistent it is, the better.
Yes, exactly.
She smoked 5 times a day.
Morning, Tasha.
Good morning.
Morning, Kristen.
Morning.
Good. Glad to see you made it this morning.
Yes.
How's Callie?
Good, good.
She's not right there on your lap with you?
No, she'll come out. She'll hear me talking on the phone. She'll be out.
Okay.
Who's
good.
Callie?
My cat.
Oh, I hope she comes out.
She's
She'll
sweet.
be out.
I remember when you contemplated getting a cat and you weren't really sure, but you're in a perfect situation for that. And isn't she a great companion? I mean, you really needed her, to be honest with you, in life, because she's a sweetheart.
Yeah, and it just worked out that when they brought her downstairs at Elaine's house, and I saw her, I was like, "Oh, I want to take you home." And Elaine said, "Done." And I was like, "Oh," and I'm like, "No, I can't afford the vet bills, and I can't do the raising the rent and everything." And she's like, "It's all taken care of. Don't worry about it." And she's stuck by her word, and she's
Aw.
taking care of all of that, and so I don't have to worry about that. So
That's wonderful.
yes,
She has brought you so
Cats
much
are so
joy, that
funny.
Callie has, hasn't she?
and it was funny because she said to me, whenever I was still on the fence about taking her home, with her even saying she'd take care of the vet bills and stuff, she's like, if you took her home when she's old enough to take her home, what would you name her? And I just blurted out Callie. She said, she's your cat. You have a name. You knew her name. You didn't even think about it.
That's cute.
But she's your cat.
No, I had Miss Kitty for 17 years, and I'm very good at naming critters that I've had along the way. Even the rat that I picked up somewhere along the way a long time ago, who was, I called him Mississippi because I named him after a character in a John Wayne movie who was a bit of a rat, but I liked him. So, but Miss
You
Kitty,
have a rat currently?
I had only for a year. They don't live very long, to be honest with you. They don't. I was working at a car dealership at the time, and some students had put the rat in the car of their principal, and it was running through the motor, and he kept hearing something. So to catch it, I put some Cheez-Its all the way up to the top of the
Yeah.
fan shroud, and then I just grabbed hold of him and put him in a box. He was a huge black rat. He was actually bigger than my cat. Rats get pretty big. And he was the friendliest, cleanest thing you ever saw in your life. He constantly cleaned himself. He loved sitting on my lap. What I did was when somebody came into work on the house or visit, I would cover his cage just so it wouldn't scare them. But he was a sweetheart.
Don't be alarmed, but there's a rat in there.
Yeah, in fact,
Old Mississippi.
somebody was putting insulation in the ceiling one time, and he said he kept hearing things. He wanted to see what it was. The guy said he lifted up the blanket to look at it. He says, "Man, that's the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life." He was huge, but he was so friendly. One time I was feeding him, and I used to feed him little things like cat food and all, they say too. But he also liked treats like hi James, good morning. He liked Hershey Kisses. So I would bury the Hershey Kiss in the cat food, and he would dig all the cat food away and get to the Hershey Kiss right away. One time I was holding it for him, and his teeth just barely touched my finger, and I went, oh, I was a little scared more than anything. And he just gave me the nicest, sweetest little look, and he was so nice. It was so cute. I would never be afraid of those critters again because they're not as bad as people think.
So interesting.
He was a lot cleaner than the dog I used to have, to be honest with you.
I'm surprised that they were allowed to have chocolate, considering cats and dogs can't.
I think a rat can have anything.
Wow.
Anything in the dumpster they can have. We're just about ready to get ready here. We're going to wait for another person or two to get on with us. But I ended up calling Miss Kitty because I was just trying to think of a name, and there happened to be an episode of Gunsmoke on at the time. And Miss Kitty was the prissy kind of woman who ran the local saloon. And Miss Kitty was so prissy. She would always clean herself and keep herself perfect. So I named her Miss Kitty after the lady on Gunsmoke.
Very
Silly, I
fitting.
know, but hey. I used to have a neighbor who named her cat Kaiser Soze. Does anybody know what that's from? Kaiser Soze was if you've ever seen the movie The Usual Suspects with Kevin, what's his name? I can't think of it.
AC.
Yes, I'll tell you what, that was
That's a good movie.
fantastic movie. Yes, Kaiser Soze is the kind of shadowy person in that movie, but it's very, very good movie. One I'd recommend. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started, and I'll keep an eye out for anybody else in the waiting room here this morning. I know some others will be coming on with us. Den is supposed to also join us as time goes by here this morning. So, hey, welcome. This is our April Ability Works program here at Alleghenies Unlimited Care Providers for April 28th, 2021. It's our 8th Zoom activity, which we consider our virtual activity. We are not yet set as a time and a date that we'll be getting back into our activities here on the Jari Drive at the community room. But when we do get that, we certainly will let you know right away. And I can't wait for everybody to get back together And I hope everybody that joins us during the program, Megan, you know how much fun we have during those. So I hope that we'll be able to get them all, everybody back together again and do that. We have a lot of things going on. I'm going to say good morning to the people who are here with us, starting with the one on my screen that's beside me. Stephanie, good morning, Stephanie.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How about yourself this morning?
Doing great. Thank you.
How has your week been going?
Fantastic. So far, so good.
Stephanie, I've known for many years, obviously at least 10 years, probably longer. And she's made some changes in her life recently. There are changes happen on a regular basis, but recently, some are good, some not so good. But you've heard me refer to Stephanie before on the program as Stephanie Ashbrook. Well, she has gone back to her maiden name. So she is Stephanie Casanis. Did I say that correctly?
Casanis.
Casanis?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. I'm saying the Sicilian version of it. I'm sorry. What is that? Northern Italian?
It is Sicilian.
Oh, it is Sicilian. Okay. So I'm
Yes.
1/4 Sicilian, so I would say that the ESE at the end of that. So Casanis.
We are saying it in the Americanized. I'm 60, according to Ancestry.com, I'm 66% Sicilian. So
66.
that explains a lot.
I'm 75% Irish, 25% Sicilian. So the Irish part of me will have a drink with you, and the Sicilian part of me will hit you over there with a ball bat. Maybe, I guess, I don't know. That's, I guess, just the way.
The rest of me is Scottish, so I'm just the opposite of you. I'm less Scottish and more Sicilian, but same.
Well, also we have Kristen Liska this morning, and I see you're working on something there this morning.
Cross stitch.
Cross stitch, okay.
Yes.
And what are you working on that for? Somebody in particular?
This is for me, and it's huge. It's
Wow, it is big.
massive. Yeah. Yeah, it's massive.
Okay, wow. You were talking with us about how you do your crocheting. Is that right?
Crochet.
right?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. I always get that wrong with the knitting and all that. I know it's not that, but
I do both, but
I need
what
to
I was
learn.
working on the last time was crocheting. Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Looks great. Can't wait to see the whole thing.
Yes. This is my Japanese ladies.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
So you'll have to work out where maybe next month or whenever you get that, because I know you get things done very quickly. You're amazing how you do things. You can get a huge thing done in just a very short time. So whenever you have that done, maybe you can show us in its entirety on another program.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. And Tasha Adams this morning. How are you, Tasha?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Tasha, what's going on in your life?
So I wrote down some happenings I wanted to tell you guys about for Unlimited Care in particular. If you didn't see, the Little Red Mailbox celebrated its 5-year anniversary well, it's still this month. It's still April somehow.
Yes.
So on April 14th in 2016, I guess, we put the Little Red Mailbox of Hope downtown at Point Park across from the Point Stadium. And it's just a mailbox, and it has a journal and a pen inside. And I mean, probably more than 5 journals have been filled out by locals, and people have been visiting Johnstown with words of hope and just things about their life. So that's really cool that after 5 years, it's still standing there, because a bunch of us went down to celebrate it when we put it up. And my dad, when he was putting it in the ground, said, "This could be gone tomorrow. I hope you know that." And I was like, whatever. And here we are 5 years later. So that's pretty exciting.
Well, happy
that
5-year
the community
anniversary
accepted it.
to the Little Red Mailbox. That's a great
Yeah.
thing. I was reading about that too. And now we have a Facebook page, and you take care of that for us. And there was a story on it the other day. I would recommend everybody go and read the story on that, on the background, and some of the things that have been written.
Yeah, the background's pretty cool,
Yes.
where it came from and the lady who helped us set it up. Other than that, we have our recruiter down at First Summit Arena today at the job fair. It's a huge job fair in downtown at the, is it still called the
First Summit Arena at Cambria County War Memorial.
War
Yes.
So that's from 10 to 6 today. And our recruiters down there, hopefully getting some people to come work for us. Our scholarship is almost due. So we've been putting that out on Facebook and reaching out to schools. We haven't got any applications so far. Usually they do come in last minute, but I feel stressed about it all the time.
You
So
think
if you
that's
guys,
because of the homeschooling and a lot, or
I think that definitely has something to do with it, and maybe just people not passing it along to the students that they know.
Okay.
I'm not really sure. But if you guys know any students who have disabilities, it could be any level of it. We give away money to them to help them with their future education, or even if they're just taking classes or day programs. So it's a really cool thing. And then we have highway cleanup coming up. We adopted a mile section of Route 271 by one of our community living arrangement homes in East Taylor / Jackson Township. So that'll be on May 25th at 3 o'clock. So that's very exciting that we're going to start it up again, because they also shut that down last year too. And then something in the community I wanted to tell you guys about that I really love is the Path of the Flood races is coming up at the end of May. That's on May 29th. And so they have a bunch of different routes from a 5K to a half marathon. And so many runners come out, and they start in South Fork or they start in Franklin, and they just run through all of the different communities. So you could really just sit on your porch and watch people running by, and it's really, really cool. So me and my family usually just sit out with signs and clap and play music for people. So it's a lot of fun. So if you want to check out the route and see where you want to sit and just hang out and drink your coffee and watch people run, and you just sit in a chair, it's a lot of fun.
and it is fun sometimes to watch that. Now, when I think
Yeah.
about getting up and jogging myself, and I do see people jog past my house occasionally up at Evansburg, sometimes, unfortunately, it motivates me to get up and close the blinds. I don't see them, but that's a great thing to watch people, how hard they're working and how much they do.
Yeah.
And I know, Steph, you do some running, don't you?
Josh and I ran this morning.
Did you? All right.
Yeah, we did.
Good
And I
for
ran with
you.
a 10-pound kettlebell in my backpack because he makes me. So
A
uphill
10-pound kettlebell?
freaking sucked.
That's
But before 8 o'clock, I had what, 2.5 miles in. So yeah, not a bad day.
well, good
Josh,
things
can I
come to
ask you a
those who
quick
sweat.
question on that scholarship?
Yeah.
Do you have a link that you could put in the chat for me? Because Magellan runs a My Life program for youth with disabilities, and I could forward the information on to our coordinator.
That would be wonderful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Perfect.
That's all my updates.
All right. And we have Megan Wilson. Good morning there, Megan.
Hello.
How are you doing this morning?
Good.
Are you? Has work been good lately?
Yep.
Good. Now, are you
Uh,
anxious to get back with the activity program and do some things?
Yes, I am.
What did you like most about it when we had those gatherings together?
Spending time with my friends.
And you're always good. It was always good to see you. Let me ask you, is there anything new and exciting happening in your life? Or should I ask Chad that question? Because I see him smiling down there. Go ahead, Megan.
Yeah.
Anything new?
Not much.
Okay. Chad,
Besides
remember
my
she
niece
said that.
Aubrey, my niece Aubrey ran track yesterday.
Okay. I see you put a lot of pictures on of your relatives there, the females that are in the sports, and you love to take the pictures of them, put them on Facebook, and I love to see that. That is so cool. That's great. All right. Good morning then, Megan. All right, Chad, good morning to you.
Morning.
How are you doing this morning? You look good.
Good. I mean,
Yeah.
Good.
working.
Let me ask you from an opposing viewpoint, is there anything new in your life?
Uh,
Have you
there's,
given out any rings lately or anything?
as how you can say, Megan is not into saying. Me and her pretty much how to say it, to engage in. We're life mates.
All
Like,
right.
you could say I pretty much gave her an engagement ring.
All right.
Like, I don't know if we're gonna get into the point of being government issued married, but like life mates. Do you
Right.
know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm in the same position, Chad. I also have a life mate. I love it.
And that's something you value so much in your life, is somebody that is willing to say, I'm going to be there for you and with you.
Yes.
And that's great.
Yes.
Good morning, Chad. And we'll get back to you in just a couple of minutes here. All right.
Okay.
Dan Henderson, good morning to you, Denzel. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Brian?
Good. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Good. How has your month gone?
going pretty good.
Good. Did you get some good relaxing meditation prayers into this month and feel strong again?
Yeah, a lot of reflecting.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
And I saw the sweet pictures of you with your son on Facebook, and I love those. I wish you'd put more of those on. It's so cute, I'll tell you. Yes.
we have our moments sometimes.
We all do.
Yeah,
But welcome this morning to you, Denzel.
thank you.
Right. And up in the corner of Josh Horner. Josh is our guest today, but we'll be talking about that in a little while. So good morning to you, Josh.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. What is that you're in? It looks like a little supply closet or one of those little sheds out in the yard.
Oh yeah, this is my shed slash workout area. Yeah, just turned it into a bunch of weights here. I have a weight bench behind me, and yeah.
Cool. Good. Excellent. That's good to see. Well, all right. I want to welcome everybody that's already with us. There will still be some that will be joining us as time goes by. But we're going to start here today with part of our program that I like very much. We have, I'm a trivia buff, very much so. Stephanie is too. And we've done trivia last week. We could have used some help, huh, Steph? It was just you and I, and we were at a trivia contest, and it was 75% of the questions were Disney questions from Disney movies,
Yeah, we were in
music and
trouble.
characters, and it was not either one of our forte there at all, not one bit. So,
Not
Chad,
at
I hope
all.
you don't have any Disney questions for us today, but go ahead with your first trivia question.
Okay. In the military, what does GI stand for?
I know that one growing up in a military family, so I won't answer. Anybody else know?
Government issue.
Government issue, he says.
Oh yeah, whoever said that's right.
That was Josh. He was just closing the door to his shed when he said it, I think. Is that right? Josh, was that you?
That was
Who was it? Who got that one? All right, it was you. Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead with the next one.
Which president was a licensed bartender?
Well, I think they all should be. Boy, that one I didn't know. Anybody? Okay, don't have that one. Go ahead, Chad.
That's Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. So he could be, since he was a wrestler, he could be the bartender and the bouncer both. Cool. Go ahead with number 3.
Some of these. What unusual dessert was President James K. Polk's favorite? That's like, I don't know.
Anybody have a guess at that one? Come on, Steph, you got to have a guess.
Strawberry sundae.
No.
That's not very
No?
unusual.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like mincemeat pie.
You're probably closest.
What is it?
Liver
Vinegar.
pie.
It's something
Vinegar.
disgusting.
Vinegar pie. Vinegar pie.
Oh,
What is it?
Vinegar
Vinegar.
pie.
Vinegar pie.
Yes. That's,
I didn't know that existed.
I didn't either.
I did not.
Okay, I'm glad not to know.
All right. All right. Well, We'll get on to the start of the program. You know, our program is to hear the purpose of it is to help us reconnect during these COVID times with all the restrictions, which are calming down now in the federal regulations that are still not allowing us to get back together as a group here at Jari Drive. Since we don't have a date set, we are going to continue with our Zoom programs until we do. But we do ask that each of you do your part to tell others about the program, what you're doing here, what you're learning, what you would like to add to it, because this isn't just a place for us to be helping you or teaching you or whatever. It's a place for all of us to share so that we all learn together. And that's very much appreciated. I appreciate everything I learned. And I learned today that there's such a thing as vinegar pie, which I don't know how much that'll help me in my life, but it's interesting anyway. All right. We want to all hear from you. If anybody wants to talk with us, they can contact me at here at Jari at 814-262-9600, extension 1502, or at bwoy at alucp.org. And let's start seeing each other on a regular basis again, even if it is just on this computer. A couple of people I know, I talked with Tina yesterday, and her and John will be getting on. She wasn't sure what time this morning because John's brother tends to call on Wednesday mornings and they talk a little while. So we will be getting back. We will be getting them on later on. Even if we just get together by computer or laptop or a smartphone, it's still a nice way to connect and be able to sit and talk with each other. Just a reminder that we don't talk about politics or personal relationships other than what I mentioned today with Chad and Megan. So now we're going to go to our step-by-step part of our program. And our theme today is exercise for all abilities with personal trainer Josh Horner. Now, Josh is a certified personal trainer, a wellness coach, motivational speaker. He's decided and dedicated his life to helping others level up over adversity through physical fitness, nutrition, and promoting a healthy lifestyle. Josh believes in a mind, body, and spirit approach to the wellness. And he's also a player on the local football team, in Johnstown, the Flood City Thunder. So Stephanie, if you would welcome Josh and tell us how we're going to start our program here today.
So as you said, well, as I mentioned earlier, Josh is also my personal trainer, friend, spiritual buddy, all of those things. So Josh is a wonderful guy, very motivational, and I feel like we're going to learn a lot. So take it away for us, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. I love speaking to people about fitness. And sometimes it's not even about the fitness part of it, right? It's about the mind, it's about your body, it's about your heart, it's about the shifting from maybe you don't know what you want to do to kind of moving forward in some physicality to upgrade yourself. So I say, why is it important to work out? Now, do people work out here? Do you guys work out? Anyone can speak.
No.
Yeah, yes, no?
I mean, I go on walks.
Yeah, like anything, movement, stuff like that. Anything that gets your body kind of working is good, because sometimes we get a little too in our heads. Would anyone agree with that?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And movement can take us out of that into our bodies, which can alleviate some stress, can focus us a little bit more. So that's a big reason for me, is showcasing, get out of your head, get into your body, and you can get into your heart as well. And it helps your heart. So workouts help cardiovascular, your heart health, reduction of anxieties, depression. And if you can build yourself to be stronger, face some stresses in a controlled environment, then you have a greater capacity for stress when it hits you, because life will hit you, right? Life is hard sometimes. Things will come at you. So if you're training yourself to face challenge, you get better at things. So there's benefits for mental, there's benefits for emotional, there's benefits for physical. And I like to incorporate that all when I'm working with people or I'm talking. So I like to have fun with it too. You know, sometimes I think people think working out is this, you got to go to a gym and you got to do this regiment and it's kind of be intense. No way. Sometimes it's a walk. Sometimes it's sitting on your couch and maybe doing some curls that we will certainly get into today as we move forward.
And sometimes it's just movement itself, Josh, right? Just being able to move.
Certainly just getting up, going for a walk, moving, getting up and down your steps. We all, I would assume, have steps in our house. A lot of us do. And if you can't use the steps, you can use your arms. And there's things in the house that you can use to get at least a little bit of a workout in, get your body moving. And the healthier you are, I would say, the more fun life is. You know, you don't want to be held back by health problems that you can take care of in your day-to-day in a consistent manner. So, what's that?
Like just to keep yourself in a very positive frame of mind. Sometimes people think of exercise as kind of something that's bad, but exercise is more of a celebration of what your body can do, not a punishment for what you ate.
Yes, that's a very good point. That's a very good point, because I would venture to say that a lot of us have limitations on what we can even do physically, but we are way more powerful than we even realize. And you never know until you start kind of unraveling that onion of working out and testing yourself. And as you start going, you get a little better. It gets a little easier. You start pushing yourself a little bit more. And I believe that can transition into your life for stressful things, hard things, things you might be a little fearful of, because, you know, sometimes things you're fearful of, the best way to handle it is to face it. And, you know, you can practice through workouts.
Josh, I could ask you, were you always as fit as you look right now?
No. So I have been in sports my entire life. I played college football. I was in it in that way, strong, but I had gotten up to 365 pounds, and I was a big boy. Now I'm about 245. So I've lost a significant amount of weight in about 2.5 years from diet, exercise, and really mindset, positive thinking, and facing challenges in the gym that, like I said, transitioned into my life. You know, it doesn't have to be a dramatic change, but small changes consistently compounded over years, they'll change your life.
It's also big to change your attitude, because I remember my father was a Marine and he was a drill instructor for a while before he became an officer. He used to tell the new recruits, the body achieves what the mind believes. And that would be one of the first things he'd tell them, because they were going to go through an awful lot in that training. So,
amen. You gotta believe it, and you gotta want it. Because if you're going into things like, dang, I have to do this, are you really gonna get as much out of it as you could? The mindset is super important here. So how do we even get started? One of the things is hydration. So hydrating yourself is something that you can do at home every day, putting water into your system. It makes your body work better, helps with brain function, and alleviates pain, lubricates joints. And the more water you have, the less hungry you are. It curbs some appetite, so you might not be overeating. I would say in America, we have a problem with overconsumption, and maybe a little bit of attachment to food, because food makes you feel good, right? And if you're kind of feeling down, well, we kind of go to those foods that make us feel comfortable. So the more water you put on, maybe you can regulate a little bit of your addictions towards food or your attachments towards food. So if you're hungry, maybe you're just a little bit water deprived. So check in with water first before the meal. Drink a glass, 8 ounces, cold water, start to get your metabolism moving. And if you're intending to work out, it's good to be hydrated so you don't feel lightheaded or aching while you're working out, because if you'll be sweating, you'll be losing moisture. small snack. It's important to be eating properly if you will be working out. Consistency in that, proteins, fats, carbohydrates. So a nice small meal of maybe 5 ounces of chicken, some vegetables, and maybe an avocado. You hit all the macronutrients, but you're not going to be, we want to stay away from processed sugary food that will spike the blood sugar and spike your insulin. And that is just a road that can lead to diabetes, heart health problems, and obesity. So it's important to really check in with what you're putting into your body, because 2 studies have shown that the increase in sugar consumption has correlated to mental health, anxieties, depression. And you know, if your anxiety's up or your depression's up and you're not going to work out, it can be a spiral into something that you don't want. So things that you can handle, things you can control, food and water are super important when you're working out. You want to be the best machine and you want to fuel it right, so you can produce the best results in your workout.
And Josh, portioning also. Now, Kristen, we've worked before, and you actually did a great bit of research on how portioning helps you to lose weight and how it makes you feel better.
Certainly, you know that finish everything on your plate mentality that maybe some of us have had when we were growing up. You know, you're not leaving the table till you finish all this. It's good to finish your vegetables, but if you're consistently finishing excess amount of potatoes with butter on it or something, you know, then that leads to maybe weight gain. Portion control is very, very important. It is. Don't overeat. Don't eat to where you're like, oh, I'm so full. Kind of just feed yourself to keep going. Always a little bit of hunger there is good. Is a good thing to keep the fat burning off of you.
Josh, I mentioned Kristen because Kristen, you had at one point with using the portion control, I think you lost 100 pounds or more, didn't you?
More than 100, yeah.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean,
Great
you just,
job.
that's amazing. I was so proud. I'm so proud of you for not only the research you did, but for following through. Well, all right, Josh, I'm going to get away from you for just a second and ask Kristen. Kristen, when you got your mindset toward keeping those portions, how did you do it?
A lot of it was actually using measuring cups and measuring the food.
Okay.
I actually got a kitchen scale and measured meat portion, the weight of it.
Okay.
For me, that was a lot of it because after a while you think you know what a half cup is, and you think, oh, I don't need that measuring cup. Your eyes tend to fool you and think that you know what it is when you don't. So you rely on those measuring cups. They really do come in handy.
That's great. Well, Tasha, let me ask you. Now you're having a baby. So how much would you say of what Josh is talking about here will you need to apply or help you to apply to not have extra weight other than what you need for that?
Yeah, it's very interesting because what he's saying is correlating right to the apps that I use for pregnancy. So the protein and everything, like, yeah, it's hard to keep on track and know what's right for you and make sure you're eating the right amount. So yeah, it matters a lot, especially now.
Denzel, you're in great shape. I know I've seen you. You have very little body fat in that. So how much of this are you hearing that you've either applied to yourself already or is good new news for you?
Not a lot. I'll be honest, Brian.
So
I'm a very free-spirited eating person.
Hard.
How do you stay the way you are then? Because you're in great shape. How do you stay that way?
Well, I don't think I'm in bad shape.
No, I think you're in great shape. That's why I said you're a great example. Now, Josh, there's an example of somebody he doesn't have to follow as much, but he may have to follow a little bit of a routine to keep himself in that as time goes by.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, and that's the thing too, though, like routine and consistency, whatever that is, whatever that means for you, that's a good thing. You got to dial into what works for you. And that takes some time, that takes some searching, that takes some looking into applications. Like she was saying, the internet is the greatest resource. YouTube is free right now. You know, I say that right now because we'll see, but you can look up anything. There's 1,000,001 persons out there that you could dial into your situation, and they can give you some really good information, you know.
Something you made me think of, Josh, whenever you're talking about America's portions. I studied abroad in Scotland, and so many people used to make fun of me for like getting something at McDonald's, being like, this is not a small. Like our small is their extra large.
Yeah, isn't that
And
crazy?
it's so interesting.
Yeah, there's some yeah, there's some things going on. There's some mindsets that might need to shift a little bit.
But Josh, what you mentioned in America, how we have a different mindset on food, and what Tosh is talking about, I taught in Europe for a while too, and they don't eat the same kind of junk that we eat. They don't eat a lot of that. We eat a lot of what they would consider garbage or something that belongs in the bin.
Certainly. Oh yeah, and that's troubling because, you know, some people, they don't know. They just don't know. And their lens isn't so much nutrition, it's finances. So food that is cheap and easy and convenient is not the best for you. And if you're consistently eating that, oh man, heart disease, obesity, mental issues, you know, like.
Or depressive issues, because you're eating things that are not making you feel good. You start feeling a little depressed, and you put on weight, you feel more depressed. And what makes me depressed sometimes is that I go to buy a salad, and it's one of the most expensive things on the menu.
Yeah. It certainly is. It's a little bit backwards, you know. And like that's the thing. Like buying a salad, you could probably make 10 of those salads at home if you bought the whole ingredients, you know, and created it yourself. So that's another thing too, you know. Making whole food purchases and creating your own meals, that's a habit that's helped me significantly in my journey for weight loss, but also nutrition and health, is getting those whole foods and making pre meals and prepping 3 days in advance and going back to it, you know, really dialing in and being in like at one with the food that you're eating.
That's something I struggle with, is meal preparation and knowing what to cook. But I don't know if any of you guys are on Pinterest, but that actually has helped me a lot to just look up chicken recipes, and all of these things come up, and it has exactly what you need to do. So that's been really helpful for me.
I love Pinterest, and I struggle with living by myself. It's hard. You buy produce and they don't sell. I wish they sold little. I always think I should invent that, these little single, because you know, I buy a head of lettuce until I eat. You know, it's tough when you're on your own, and unless you're freezing stuff, like fresh produce just doesn't last.
I have a tendency to buy a head of lettuce and slice it rather than peel it, and I chop that up, and I'll put even just a little bit of natural honey or real maple syrup on it. Something that it's amazing. It's so different from the very fatty salad dressings that you get, that people think, oh, I'm eating a salad, it's really good. Then they pour this ranch dressing on that has all these calories and all this fat and all this in it, that, you know, it really defeats the whole purpose. So Josh, you talk about simple nutrition to help ourselves feel better in that. What can we do to get our mindset and to get our understanding better on what simple nutrition helps us individually?
Well, so like I said, there's a lot of resources online that you can go into and just research for yourself. But the less ingredients on a label, the better. So if you can read the back of a nutritional label and you can understand what's in it, that's a good thing, first off. But if you're reading all these dyes and things like this and words that you can't even pronounce, be a little bit more skeptical on what you're eating. And if there's like 27 ingredients and it's compared to like 5, you want to go to the 5. Check out the 5. Go into that. That's more whole food. That's less fillers. That's less addictive things that they have been putting into foods now that people are coming out with. That a lot of these processed foods have addictive things in them that keep you coming back, like Doritos. I saw the other day that they had researched how Doritos impact your sensory, something in your brain, that it's like crack cocaine, and you constantly got to get your fix for Doritos. So be aware of processed foods in that way.
Josh, actually, Fritos corn chips started that in the 1960s, so that you would, and Lay's potato chips did also. Lay's even had an ad that said no one could eat just one. It was because they put this ingredient in that made you keep eating. And Fritos did that, and they were both actually brought before Congress. And believe it or not, they didn't pass the law against it. There's nothing illegal about doing that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to me.
It is.
I've
And
got
they
a
keep making the
question.
bags bigger and bigger. Go ahead, Chad.
What are good sources of protein?
Good sources of protein.
Yeah.
So you have like lean meats, chicken. You can do beef, fish. Salmon is great. High in omega-3s. It's fatty, and the fat content is good. Sometimes people get a little weary of fat, but fat helps you. Fat feeds your brain.
Now that's farm raised salmon is not good as good as some of the other real salmon that comes from the cold water now. But some farm raised salmon is not as good for you. But salmon itself is one of my favorites. That's great, Josh.
Yeah.
I love that.
Eggs, you can use nuts too. Eggs are a superfood. One egg has 6 grams of protein, and a bunch of nutrients in it.
Does it matter what type of egg? Like, I mean, I have a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs.
That's perfect, man. However you want to prepare your eggs, hard boil them, scramble them, fry them.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
See, I asked for 2. You need protein to build muscle, but I also need protein because I have a wound on my body, and the protein helps for that to heal also.
Certainly. And if you're if you're wanting to build muscle too, you would want to eat 0.8 of a gram compared to your body weight, okay, or above. So if you're a 180-pound man, you're looking at about 160 grams of protein a day or above to start putting on some lean mass.
Okay. I'm more toning. Need to, because like there's certain things like how I was asked, like I'll do a lift up for my triceps, and I'm just pretty much because I'm wheelchair bound, and
Okay.
I'm just lifting.
Yeah, like a tricep dip.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amen, dude. Working the triceps, brother.
Well, other times where I'll just take a dumbbell and sit there and just.
Yes. Amen. That's awesome, dude. Because you can certainly do it. Like I have like a kettlebell here, which you can purchase. This is like $10 at Dollar General. So $10, but if you don't have, I have a jar of peanut butter that you can certainly do the same thing. If you don't have anything, we can do some curls with it, alternate the variations, which I will get into, but it's super cool to just mess around with the weight. You can move it, you can do some things. That's awesome, man. That's really good. I'm glad that you're doing that.
It's also good, Josh. It shows how no matter what your circumstances, that some exercise is good. I know, Kristen, you've got some medical things coming up to where they're telling you to lose so much weight for that.
Yeah.
So even the simplest exercises at a time, like Josh is showing, hey, you hold that little jar of peanut butter and hold it up over while you're watching television or something. It makes a difference because there's weight in your arms. And women tend to have a little more excess weight in their arms than men do as far as that goes. It's a softer weight, but that would be great, Chad. That's a great, that one you talked about doing back behind you there. Does that help you a lot?
It's all triceps. Everything. Okay, I'm wheelchair bound, so everything like all my movement is all my, like, it's
Arms.
get around, like you going for a walk is me using my arms to do everything in a way.
Right. So
And
do you,
I might be wrong. A gallon of water, isn't that 7 pounds?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. From what I've heard, a gallon of water
You're the trivia guy.
weighs 7 pounds.
But that's even regardless if it's not 7 pounds or is, a gallon of water is still something that you can be doing
Yeah.
that with. It has a handle so you can do curls with it. It's get creative, man.
Yeah.
Amen.
And you don't even have to start with a gallon. Start with a liter, whatever, and use it that way till you get yourself into a little bit of exercise form, right? Right, Josh? So
Yeah.
you don't want to start with 20-pound weight. You want to start with 10 pound or 5.
Exactly. So I have these cans of green peas that you can even use too. So if you're, all right, we talked about mindset, but I also like to talk about purpose here. So mindset is very important. Like, okay, I'm going to get this. This is awesome. I'm going to work out. But why are you working out? Okay. If you're just going to do it just to do it, okay. But if you need to get your health in check. Okay. If you have children, you want to be here in 20 years for your kids. That's a good why factor. Okay. What do you want to look like? You want to be stronger. Revisiting your goals for why is important, and not just every once in a while, but you wake up, hey, remember your dreams, man or woman. Remember why you're starting, and that can give you the motivation to keep going, to stay in it, to keep what you're doing. So
sometimes too, it's simple things too, Josh, like myself. I'm 60 years old. Start to get a little bit of the spread around the middle. For all my life, I was 178 pounds, and now I'm 205, and it's soft. And so I need to start buying other clothes, either that or I need to start working out. To be honest with you, it's a lot less expensive to work out than it is to keep buying new clothes that are bigger and whatever for you. So,
right. And there's more benefits to working out too.
yes. Yeah, because it's actually more of a depression when you have to buy a bigger size. That's awful.
For sure. So I think it's important too to talk about stretching. If you're just going to go into this without stretching, you can pull something, especially if you're tight in areas. For me, my right knee is something that gives me a lot of struggle. So every morning I do some stretches with it to elongate the muscle, but also to relieve some of the tension on the tendon. Now, if I didn't stretch and I went out for like a 3-mile run, I'm more prone to injure myself than if I was warmed up a little bit and had some good stretching. So some stretchings you can do just sitting with your arms or just hands overhead, stretching here. You're stretching. Yeah, let's do it. You can move your back through it.
Feels
You're
good.
moving your lats out. You're stretching them out. Now you can take your elbow down across. This stretches your tricep, but we're still stretching our back. And each one is about 10 to 15 seconds. So really stay in that.
That feels good.
Yeah. And then you can go across your chest. So same concept, but in front. So now you're stretching the chest and you're still getting some stretch in your tricep.
Okay.
Both sides. And if you're having some hand, these stretching your fingertips, really working it around. Feel where you need it. So you know your body better than anyone, right? You know where you're a little like there's maybe a kink or there's something. Slowly stretch into the pain. If there's pain, slowly, and you can alleviate a lot of it. But initially people run away from those little, like the pain, because pain hurts. But if you go slowly through the pain, you realize that you're working it out. You're working it out and it's not as bad as it was.
Two things with what you're saying here. The stretches is so important because We talked about, Kristen has a cat, I have a cat. One of the first things you see in the morning when that cat, they do a stretch.
Yes.
It was like she reminded me, get up out of bed, do a stretch, take your time,
Yeah.
do it nice and easy and do a stretch. That is so important to do. And animals are great for reminding you stuff like that.
Oh, they got it down, man. They got it down. They got it down. We're the ones that kind of mess things up by thinking too much. But that's actually one of the things I do each morning is when I wake up, a lot of gratitude practice, and then I stretch, just stretching in prayer and kind of priming myself for the day.
And Joyce, that also increases blood flow to the brain. So that helps you actually begin your day more so than the caffeine will.
Right. Now, another little thing of note too, when you work out can be important. So if it's something that you do in the morning, so there's studies that show that brain activity increases by 13%. So if you're having an increase in your brain activity by 13%, what can that mean for the remainder of your day?
Wow.
The situations that arise, the work that you got to do, the focus that you need. So if you're priming yourself in the morning, you're setting yourself up for success later in the day. So that's a cool thing to think about too. Also, we talked earlier, music is important. I think if you're going to be working out, at least for me, if it's tough and I'm kind of just in a room quiet and I'm doing curls, that's all right. But if I have some music that I love, it's going to pump me up. It's going to carry me through. It's going to calm me down. It's going to put me in the right mindset to get done what I need to do.
Okay.
Everyone
That's a great idea, because music motivates everybody, right? Everybody has that song that makes you feel a little bit better, a little bit more energy.
Right.
Chad, I see you looking like, yeah, you have one.
Well, I remember being in a weight room, especially during high school, and we would have there was a whole, I guess, set list of music. I mean, I'm not talking like Elvis. I'm talking like White Zombie. It's just like rock music.
Yeah.
I can
That's
have.
when Steph comes here, I put on 80s rock.
Yes.
We're always jamming to 80s. This morning it was like Rat and Bon Jovi and Twisted Sister, and it was great. Anything 80s. I always tell him he was born 10 years too late. We were the 80s.
I love the 80s. So another thing, guys, so if you have equipment or you don't have equipment, I kind of want to just run through some simple exercises that you can perform.
Okay.
Just for if you're seated, I do have these cans of peas, just in case you don't have anything. So simple bicep curls, just right here. And the variations on this are extensive. So you have your right here, palms up, but then you can start pushing it out. You're hitting different angles. Now we're going to come closer. We're going to come closer. Different angles, hit sets of 10. Maybe you can do 3-4 sets of 10, just the bicep curls. Then you can do flies, work your shoulders right here. Same concept, breathing in, breathing deep, control your breathing, because the deeper your breath, the slower your heart rate, the better you'll be able to handle the load, and the oxygen will be getting into your blood better. Oxidation will be working better. So you can do variations. You can come to the front, working all angles of your shoulders. Presses, right here, same concept. Switching to angles, really stretching it through, exhausting the muscles. Triceps, like he was doing. You can do this with these cans. You can do it one arm at a time, and you can bend over and do it to the side. See how it's engaging the tricep right there? Just pushing it out, keeping everything straight. And one of the key concepts too is to squeeze. These cans, how much do they weigh? This is 15 ounces. So this is like a pound. This might not do much for me if I'm just kind of doing this, okay? But if you're squeezing the whole time, you will get 10 times the amount of work compared to here. I'm not squeezing. Another thing that is pretty cool, is slow motion working out. So if you come up here 10 seconds up and then 10 seconds down, squeezing the whole time, compared to, you're going to get more work here. It makes your workouts more efficient. It challenges you in a different way. And then the variations can play. You can go 10 seconds, maybe you can do 8 seconds. Maybe you can roll with 10 repetitions at once, then a very slow one, squeezing the whole time. You can incorporate this into all of the exercises that we just went over. And there's certainly more that I'm going to talk about. So for your back too, if you're in the chair, can you bend forward, Chad?
Not really, because my hips are completely fused.
Okay.
Like, it all depends on what you mean by bend forward. Like, I can't bend at the hips.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's okay, man.
like what you're doing, yeah, that's not
No.
possible.
Okay,
Like,
so then you
leaning
can
forward.
stay here, get to this
Yeah.
position,
Yeah.
stretch back like this. So this is hitting my lats right now, just like this.
Really? See, I
Yes.
would like, because I'm thinking, because like how you see my trapeze. Okay, well, like, so I'm getting out of bed. I have to, with my right arm, I have to lift myself from my bed to my chair. And I just like, that's what I would think. Is there any other, I wouldn't know of any exercise you could, I know lots of using a pulling machine.
Right.
Like, I don't, is there any ones you could just do? Like,
So
really?
you see this? Your rotator cuffs are working in that, but if you're squeezing back like that, your back is engaged. It might take a little longer, but if you have, do you only have one dumbbell?
I have 2.
Amen. Okay, so squeeze on the back. Now that bar you have, can you hold on to with both hands?
I probably could. Like, I mean, it's only a foot wide.
I understand. So if you could do that and pull yourself, even if you're not going to get the full pull up, but if you start small and you just keep trying and trying, pretty soon, man, maybe you're going up the whole way. You know, just small thing, couple times a day. 2 months from now, who's to know that you're not just, woo, you know?
Well, that's too basic. To be.
Hey man, sometimes we gotta start basic. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean, see, I don't know. I'd have to. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like I can easily pull myself up. I mean, I'd have to make sure I didn't hit my head on the bar.
sure, yeah, you gotta be aware. And that's a thing too. In working out, be very aware of where you're at, what you're doing, who's around you, placements, because you don't want to hit your head, drop things, fall down a ravine or anything like that. So you gotta just be very aware of your surroundings.
I do a lot of modified stuff, Chad. I can't do a lot of exercises the way they're intended. So my pull-ups are very modified, laying on my back, pulling myself, like, and if even I go that far, but you just keep doing it until you get stronger.
Resistance bands are pretty good.
Ah,
A lot. He has a million of them.
Lovely.
I have this. This is it's not a resistance band, but even
It works.
gummy bands. So right here, Chad, you're talking about lat movements.
Yeah.
So if you had a resistance band, this stimulates a lat pull down. So check this out. You're right here, one arm staying up. You pull one down. Right there, man. That's your lat pull down. And you do it each side, and you can get the resistance higher. And then soon you will build your lats to so strong that you will have to go higher. You know? And if it's too easy, then just do more reps. Just do more reps. But that's a modified version right there. I have if you follow my YouTube, I have a whole workout on a resistant band that I do some just sitting. I mean, some is standing, but you can still correlate it to the chair. So it's Joshua Horner on the YouTube if you want to check it out.
No, couldn't you just take the resistance band and just go out wide? Wouldn't that work? Or that
You could do
work
that
flat?
too.
Like, I mean, instead of just doing one arm down, just
You
like,
could,
yeah, exactly.
but focusing on one hits a little different than going both. You can certainly go both. You can do one at a time too. You can do both, man.
Okay.
You know?
Just curious. Like, I wouldn't, because I'm used to always, doing lat pull downs. Like, but I don't have a machine, so.
Yeah. Oh man, got to get creative.
Yes.
You can. You certainly can. And it seems like with your dumbbells, like you already got your triceps. Your triceps are rocking pretty hard, man. Do you do bicep curls too?
Yeah. Well, I'm not, see, yes, I can easily do that. Like, I'm more of shoulders and triceps. Like, that's like rows and front curls. Like, I work, I don't, yes, you use your biceps, but like when I'm lifting myself like up, it seems like it's all more lats, shoulders, and triceps.
Well, also too, though, if you're pulling, your biceps are engaged in the pull. So your lats are engaged, but your biceps are what is pulling as well. So in that pull, your biceps are. The triceps aren't as engaged. Triceps are more of a push motion. Because you see, I'm pushing, it's engaged. I'm pulling, it's biceps. So
one of the simple ones we did when I was in karate was we would use that rubber band that you talked about, the resistance band, hold it in front of you and do the punches. So you'd hold the band and do the punch. And each time you would pull out on that. So you would get more force each time you do it.
that's great. I never thought of that. Huh, thank you.
So I got a question. Do you think it's better just to do more reps or more sets? I mean, because I'll usually like I would do those tricep curls. I usually go to 16, and then I'll just do like 3 sets of 16.
So, Chad, I think what's important here is not so much placing numbers and sets as it is being in tune with your muscles in your body. So if you're looking to really exhaust the muscle, so wherever that is, maybe that means you do 4 sets of 16 where you're really feeling that and not necessarily just doing, I'm going to do 3 sets of 16 and then that's it. That's all I'm going to do each day. Because if that happens, certainly you will develop strength and you'll grow in that, but you might not get to the point where you want to go because you're not consistently checking in with yourself. Does that make sense?
In a way, but like, see, I don't the dumbbells I have aren't heavy enough. Like, because I could sit there and do that, like, 50 times. Like,
Have you ever done it? Have you ever tried slow motion?
I don't know. See, I do. I don't know what snow is. I try to do negatives.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, instead of like, and I don't know if those are. See, I also, because I used to get, I would actually get sore from doing negatives. Like,
yeah, certainly.
You know what I mean? Like, instead of like you bring it up and then instead of bringing it back down, you just literally wait 20 seconds. Like this, I guess you would say that's the slow motion.
Yeah, man. That's a great way to do modifications if you don't have the higher weight. And more reps, certainly. But you don't want to go to where you can't move your arms. You have to use your arms, right? So yeah.
Well, I remember I used to do squats, and to the point where the next day you're walking like a penguin.
Yeah.
I'm talking putting 280 pounds on a dumbbell and doing squats.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been there.
I have a question for you, Josh.
Yeah.
I broke my back at 19 and that's what Brian was talking about, medical issues. And I have exercises that physical therapy gave me to do that I can do in bed. But I have ankle weights and wrist weights. And I was wondering if I could use those in some way to do exercises, and how long would you suggest that I like would wear those in a time frame that would be safe to wear them. Like,
Are you mobile? Can you walk and
yeah, I can walk now. The condition that I have is the vertebra that I broke is crumbling now.
Okay.
And I need to lose weight so that they can do a preventative measure to build a structure in there to prevent it from collapsing.
Okay.
And I need to do some kind of exercises to help me lose this weight besides diet.
Certainly. Yes. So first thing I would advise is to definitely talk to your doctor.
Right.
That's always something, you know, hey, I'm going to go do this workout or something. Is it okay? Get the go ahead. And he can give you some parameters based off of your chart and your health.
Oh,
But certainly, like, are these the ones that you strap to your wrists?
yes.
And then
Wrist
strap
and
your-
ankles. Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So you could start with just a 15-minute little warm up here. If it's strapped to your arms, right here, we're doing flies. We're doing presses.
They're
We're doing
5 pounds. They're 5 pounds for each ankle and the wrist.
And if you're, you said you can stand, how's your mobility with like walking?
Terrible.
Okay. So maybe seated. Yeah. Here, let me try to show it.
Back further.
What's that? What? Oh, okay. So if you have them on your ankles, and you're on a chair, you can stretch out your leg just like that. If you can.
Do the kick outs.
Yeah. Like
okay.
Extensions, just like this. And can you lay on your stomach in your bed?
Yes.
So if you lay on your stomach in your bed, you can pull up your leg for your hamstring, just like that. And also, if you're in your bed, you can, I'm trying to do all this on a chair, but you can lay and you can side raise too.
Okay.
Side raise each time. And 12 to 15 is a good range for cutting fat, cutting weight on it. It also produces like a little bit of a cardiovascular workout too, instead of a slow muscle building, because you're not necessarily, you want to become stronger, but if you're looking to cut fat, keeping the reps in the 12 to 15 range, and maybe doing 2, 3, and just checking in with yourself consistently, where your heart rate's at.
I'll do what they, physical therapy. I had a physical therapist come to my apartment, and what we start out with is 5.
Okay.
And build up from there. And I just decide what my back can handle. Exactly.
Like that's enough. You have check in with yourself. If 5 is where you're at, that's great. Do 5. But if you can consistently move it up, push yourself a little bit.
Right.
Don't be afraid to push yourself a little bit. Do it in a smart way. Definitely check in with yourself. But 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, maybe once in the morning, once before you go to bed, even just to kind of keep your body in that mode of, hey, this is what we do now.
Right.
And you'll get there. And it is, again, back to that mindset. Like it's not necessarily a chore. I get to do this. This is awesome. This is going to help me. That'll make it a lot more fun, you know.
Kristen, did they ask you to concentrate on any particular part of your body for losing weight for this operation?
No, not really. Just as long as I lose weight, as long as it comes off the body.
So you can do as like Josh is telling here, a little bit on this leg, that arm, this back, and moving. So that'll all be good for you overall.
Right.
Good. Excellent.
How much do you have to lose?
134 pounds.
How long do you have?
Whenever I get it off.
Okay. My blessings to you.
Thank you.
You can do this. Remember that. You got this, okay?
I'm working on it. I've lost 18 pounds.
I know she can. She's tremendously strong person and strong-willed, very strong-minded.
Good. Blessings on your journey.
Thank you.
Josh, how about tracking our workout progress? What's the best way to do that so that we don't just step on the scale to see if we've lost weight, but that we know we're actually tracking how much better we're getting?
So I am a firm believer in writing everything down. I have like 4,000 of these things, but like just in life in general, ideas, things I got to do, food I eat. I think it's super important to track your progress. Notebook. What's that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Or, you know, people like to use their phone. That's easy too. You know, you track what you do in your phone. And I think there is some like fitness apps or MyFitnessPal application, stuff like that, that you can do that in. I like pen to paper, so I can just kind of flip back and see, okay, on April 12th, this is the workout that I completed. This is how much weight I was using. I did 7 repetitions instead of 5. Well, maybe I feel good now to do 9. And it's good to kind of go back over that sometimes, revisit it weekly. If you have a weekly check-in on your like your weight loss or your weigh-in, like on a Sunday, it's good to reevaluate on that Sunday. Well, this is what I did the last 3 days, last week. Okay, this is what I'm going to do the next 3 days. Let's push it a little bit more. But tracking is very, very, very cool.
Is it good to break it down when you're tracking too? Like I did this for my arms, this for my legs, this for my stomach, this for my butt, whatever you need, you know, in particular.
Right. Keeping a detailed analysis of what you're doing is important, because then it sets you up for the future. You can refer back, and then you can be creative and create different plans for yourself based off of the data that you have collected.
Okay.
So it is a very I mean, if you want to do it, you got to be in it. You gotta be in it and have the mindset, but also do the work, to the consistent, disciplined work to get the results that you want. And
Josh, I have a question for you. Now, Megan works where she stands on her feet all day, right, Megan?
Yes.
What's good for her to exercise to help her to feel stronger? And I mean, that's got to be tiring on your legs, your feet, everything.
well, I think like doing like squats, doing workouts for your legs to build strength, to build capacity for load. Like if you're hitting a couple squat exercises every other day, or doing, are you a member of any gym, Megan?
No, I'm not.
That's okay. So
I do walk. I walk track.
you can certainly walk. I have this 10-pound bag of cat food. Okay.
Well, Megan likes dogs, so she'll have dog food, right?
Yes.
Okay, you can use your dog food, but so to strengthen your legs, you can certainly do some squats with it. And even if you don't want to use any weight, you can use the squats just free weight, but also too straight leg deadlifts. So you allow the weight to come down and you squeeze on the way up. So you're squeezing all of your leg, you're hitting your hamstrings, you're working your quads. The stronger you get in those areas, standing won't be as bad, you know, because standing maybe for 8 hours right now might be feeling like a workout, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, you know, you have like good insoles in your shoe.
Yeah.
Shoes are important. I used to work at Applebee's for a couple 8-hour, 9-hour shifts, and we were constantly on our feet walking, and shoes were very important. But yeah, the stronger you develop your legs, the less that's going to affect you in a tiresome way. You know, sometimes that's the thing. Like, wait, you mean the more I work out, it's gonna make me less tired? That's the thing. It really is. And the more you work out too, it gives you more energy. So
Okay.
I would practice some squats, some deadlifting like that, and then, you know, taking those walks and training your legs to be in that realm of engagement all day.
I would be careful with those deadlifts, because you talk about your lower back being sore also.
Yeah, you definitely. Here, let me demo it. So
Also have lower back issues.
Didn't know
So
that,
you
Tosh.
want to keep your spine completely straight when you go down. You're allowing this to take you down, but you're keeping a straight line in your legs and in your back, keeping your head up and straight. And when you pull up, you are pulling with your legs and your lower back and squeezing. So these movements, which you, again, if you ever have questions, there's YouTube videos that narrate these to a T. They can show you what you need to do, how to do it. Learning the proper form is very important, especially with those types of lift. So thank you, Chad. That's a really good point there, because I know a lot of people who do it wrong, then they injure themselves, you know, and it doesn't take much weight.
Yeah, there is. I mean, for every kind of, I guess, lifting weights, yeah, you got to watch the form. Like, you got to do, like, you know, you don't want to exactly not injure yourself lifting weights. So,
Well, Josh, you've helped us a lot so far today. I have one more question that I'd
Thank
like
you.
to ask you, and I'll open it also to others. Specifically on the stomach. Like I said, I'm getting that bit of a spread that you get with middle age if you don't work out as consistently as I should. What can I do? What's the best thing for me to ease into that and to get rid of those that extra weight around the belly button?
Well, they all say that abs start in the kitchen. So
yes.
really where you're at there, I don't know where you're at on that, but
I'm very good with that. Actually, I eat a lot of the plain chicken or chicken with just pineapple in it or peppers, things like that. I don't eat junk food. I don't eat potato chips. I don't eat ice cream.
Cool.
I've been really good with things like that. I don't eat salt because I have a little bit of high blood pressure, so I stay away from that. So what else would you recommend to me? You know, so I will start in the kitchen. That's good.
How is your cardio?
I walk. I recently walked at a car show about 5 miles on that day. I generally, with my wife, will walk anywhere from 1 to 3 miles in a day. She unfortunately just recently fractured her ankle. So we won't be doing that walking. I'll have to do some on my own. And it's a little harder to do on your own than it is to do with somebody else.
So I would check in with the cardio, but also you can be doing simple ab exercises every day, even sitting in a chair.
Okay.
So you hold on to the back and you just bring your knees to your chest.
Okay.
You just bring your knees to your chest. So anything that you're bringing from the floor up with abs, that hits your lower abs. And anything that you're pulling from the head down, that's going to hit the higher part of it. So crunches, are you familiar with crunches?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crunches. I like to play games with my fitness. So I'll be like, all right, man, you have to do 100 crunches today. It doesn't matter how or how many times or how many sets, but by the end of the 24 hours, you got 100 crunches in. And if you can do that consistently, you do that for 2 months.
But you start out with a lot less than 100, right?
But you know what I mean? Like, say you start with 20 a day and you're conscious of your food, you're drinking your water, you're taking your walks, you'll start to see, and also developing that mindset of what you want your stomach to look like. Like that's a thing. Checking in with, well, what do I want to look like? How do I want to feel with this? And already believing that you have it and like living that, oh man, you'll get there way faster. You really will.
Good.
Now, you know what 6 inches is, like holding your legs. Like, now, does that work the lower part?
It works the whole part of you, man. It works the whole ab. All the abs are engaged in that. And then if you roll this way, so you're at 6 inches and you start to shift like this, it hits the obliques then too. So it's your full ab, and 6 inches are tough. But is anyone here? Are you guys familiar with what that is?
Yeah, I know what that is.
Like,
so you're laying on your back. Here we go. Say I'm laying on my back, and you raise your feet 6 inches off the floor. Okay, so you're engaging all of your abs. Then you can sway through, hit the obliques. It's a great ab workout. We did it so much in football. It was sucked. Should probably do more of them.
Steph, do you do those?
Didn't we do those like last?
I literally do everything because he makes me. We just did them last week.
Yeah,
6 inches and planks.
yeah, planks are good too.
I think plank's the only thing I can beat him at. Plank's the only thing I can beat you at. I can hold
Stephanie's
a plank
competitive,
forever.
so
I am very competitive. Sometimes, one time he said, instead of saying you can do the modified, he said, you can do the sissy one. And I went,
Well,
I will
some of
murder you. I said, I will murder you.
yeah,
well, that's another reason that having a partner is good, because it helps challenge you mentally and having that person to do those things with. Like Chad, if you and Megan do those, or Kristen, if you and I will do some of those things together, I would like that because it helps to have that somebody there to do those things with.
Yeah, when you're lifting and stuff, it's better to have someone with you. It's more of like motivation, motivates you more.
right.
Like simple.
I already have an idea, Brian. The next time we're going to trivia, we're going to run them 2 miles before and increase our brain activity by 13%.
All right, maybe before we have the wings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll go have wings and all the stuff we said we don't eat. Like the
Right,
fried
that's a
dough.
good idea.
I admitted that I ate fried dough, though. I did.
Hey, it was delicious. And the cinnamon's good for you, I guess. I don't know. The rest of it wasn't. All right, who has something else for Josh today? We've kept him a long time, but I really appreciate what you've done, Josh.
Oh, thank you guys. Yeah, for sure. It's my pleasure.
Anybody have anything else for him before he heads out? Or all right, great job, Josh. Lots of great information for us. Really very much appreciated.
Yeah, no problem.
One
And,
question: Where'd you go to college at? Play football?
I played at Shippensburg and then at St. Vincent College in Latrobe.
Okay.
Can you give us just one quick example of the breathing exercises that you do?
Forgot about that. Yes. So I want to preface this that what I do has taken me multiple years to get to it. So it's not a beginner's thing, but some beginner exercises that you can do are 7 deep conscious breaths that all of your body is engaged. So when you breathe in, you not only breathe in with your lungs, but you fill your head, you fill your diaphragm, and you think of filling your entire body with air. So,
Kristen, you remember when we did those deep breaths like that?
Yes.
That's amazing how it helps, isn't it?
Oh,
so
God, yes.
on the exhale should be longer than the inhale. And that will, one, reduce anxiety, lower your heart rate, but also focus you. So 7 is like the magic number to like reset your mind. So 7 is a good in and out. There are some beginners guides on YouTube. Wim Hof, if you're familiar with any of him, have any of you heard of him? He's changing a lot of the understanding with the human capacity for work, for healing, and a lot of the things he does is breath work.
Okay.
And his breath work is 3 rounds of 30 deep conscious breathing with holding your breath with no air in your lungs, a minute and a half. And what you see after these exercises is that you're able to lift heavier weights. You're able to run farther because you change the pH in your body.
Right.
And it's incredible. Now, again, I'll preface warning, take it slow there. Don't just dive into it. If you feel lightheaded and things like that, make sure you stop. Just be careful. But breathing is so important. And I want to stress this too. So, throwing cans of peas. So if you are struggling with getting the weight up or pressing it up, your breath can help you. So if I'm stuck here and I take a deep breath, you correlate it like it's a piston. So when I'm coming down, I'm breathing in. It will help you get through the set, but it will also keep the oxygen into your blood.
Right, great. That's very much appreciated, Josh. Thank you. Thank you
No
for all
problem.
you've taught us and helped us with today.
When you
No
were
problem.
doing those breathing exercises,
What's
did you,
that?
when you doing those breathing exercises, you hold in, do you hold it at all, or just,
So sometimes you can. There's many different ones, man. So you go in, hold for a second, then release. There's some that is 4 by 4 by 4. So 4 seconds in, 4 second hold, 4 second out. That is a nice little circle that you can do too. I'd play around with it and see which ones work for you, because a lot of that is to those little exercises, the 7 is to reduce anxiety. Like, because when we start to get anxious, breaths start to be shallow and we starts to get a little hectic up there. So it's a nice reset for your mind, but also for your lung.
It also is
Yeah,
a
it's
good way to
like-
let out stress. You bring in that, breathe in the fresh air and let out everything that's bad, everything that's bothering you. Think of those things and just think of them blowing right out your mouth, Goodbye complaining with your neighbors or whatever problem you're having in your life, and just let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Yes.
And you can sing while you're working out. That's
You
fine.
can sing too. I love to sing when I work out.
All right. Steph,
When
go
you're
ahead. Do you want to say
talking-
something down there? Okay, great job. Josh, we really appreciate all the help you've given us today. And
Thank you.
I'm going to watch this over and over to make sure that I get down pat a lot of the things that you've told me today, because I want to get rid of this middle that's bothering me like crazy.
Amen,
I mean,
brother.
it's an awful feeling. It changes everything you do when you gain weight, so you can change everything you do in a positive way when you lose it.
Yeah. Amen.
I'm getting to be in your same position here, Brian, with this belly growing. It does
Yeah, but
change everything.
You'll be losing a lot of weight real quick one day.
Well, thank you guys, and cheers and blessings to all you on your journey in fitness and health. Thank
Thanks,
you.
and good
Thanks,
luck with the
Josh.
Thunder.
Thank you very much. You guys have a great day.
Okay, take care.
God bless you. Take
All
care.
right, let's get back now to Chad. How about you? Let's give us some more trivia questions here before we close ourselves out.
this one actually surprised me. Okay. What is the last letter added to our alphabet? What is the last letter added to our American alphabet?
What an
Jay.
interesting question.
What did you just say?
Jay.
How did you know?
Because it's,
Megan.
Megan, did
because
you know
it's,
that?
Oh, it's Kristen.
because of the
Oh, wow.
cross stitch samplers. They did not include J in them for the longest time, and that's because it wasn't in the alphabet.
It wasn't,
That's-
Wow.
it wasn't in many alphabets until actually, what was it, Chad? Do you remember when that came into the alphabet?
No, well, see, like there was a different, like I've seen some stuff for, like, say, more for religion. That's why, like with Jesus, his name wasn't Jeuss.
Right, because J was not part of the alphabet.
Yes. Yeah.
Not until I think it was 1700 something, J was added to the alphabet.
Because you think, oh, it'd be Z, but no, it's not. It's pretty much the alphabet.
Well, in the Greek alphabet, the last letter is O, right?
Yeah.
Omega is the last in that. Okay, go ahead. Question 2.
I don't know about this one. Amoggy, Moggy, is British slang for what?
Hmm.
You get tough ones, man. No idea.
I'll give you I'll give you a guess. It's an animal.
Oh.
A moggy.
I'm gonna say fox.
More domestic.
A cat.
Yes.
Wow.
Cat has been hot topic this program.
I'm shocked Callie never did come out.
I know. I'm feeling a little bummed about it.
I can get her to come out.
Call her over. We have to
I
see
will.
her.
All right, Chad, go ahead on number 3 then.
Okay, here's some music questions.
Oh, wow.
What is the Beatles' best-selling album in the US?
Come here.
Steph, give it a
Come
guess.
here, everybody, your audience wants to see you.
I
Come
was
here.
gonna say you, because you usually take anything older than the
Oh,
80s.
there
Take
she
everything
is.
80s and above.
All right. Chad, I'm going to say the White Album.
No,
No. Okay. Abbey Road.
Yellow Submarine.
no. I don't know if I ever listened to this one, but it's a self-titled. It's called The Beatles.
Oh, of course it is.
You threw us a trick question.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Right. Kristen, I see Callie up there and she's adorable.
She's a cutie
She is.
pie.
Oh my goodness. She is so clean and neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and fuzzy.
She's a great groomer. She's really good at keeping herself clean.
She's a sweetheart.
But then again, she knows mommy will bath her if she's not. So
Well, Kristen, she's put on a little weight since the last time I saw her, so you must be feeding her pretty good.
actually, that's all fur. She only weighs
Oh,
7 pounds.
okay.
She only weighs 7 pounds.
Really? Oh,
Because I weigh her every now and then just to make sure. Because my sister always says she's so fat. I said it's all fur. I'll throw her on my scale. It's an electronic scale, so I'll throw her on my scale just to make sure.
She is a fuzzy little thing.
Yes,
adorable.
her siblings were all short haired, just like their mom. She must get her fur from the father.
Wow.
We don't know who the father was. It must have been a stray that she ran into outside.
Well, that's great. All right. Now, in order to raise funds here for the activities program, we're going to be doing a fundraiser coming up again in June. And because of the COVID-19 restrictions and a lot of the stuff that we have, they'll still be in place to some extent then. So we're going to run a sale that has some social distancing in mind. The last October, we ran one with Mariana's fundraiser, Subs and Pizzas, and it was very successful. And to be honest with you, I had never had a Mariana's sub before, and it was the best sub I ever had. And one of the reasons that they're so good with our social distancing needs and rules today is because everything comes individually packed. Like if you get a pizza, the cheese is individual, the pepperoni is individual. If you get a sub, and there's a lot of different kind of subs that they have on there. The Italian, ham and Swiss, ham club, turkey, and traditional. Everything comes individually packaged and sealed. So when you put it together, it's a fresh sub that you make yourself, and it just tastes absolutely great. So if you were part of the sale before, we will already have that information, and we're going to send that out to you. We'll send it out to our employees. But anybody who wasn't, I think Kristen, I don't think you were at that time with us. So is it all right if we send something out to you on the sale? And you can help us raise some funds, because we will be starting we're hoping to start the activities program up at some point in the future, but we don't have a date set for that. But the order forms will be mailed out in May to you, and the sale will be last date to have them back will be June 10th, and the sale itself, pickup day, if I'm right, is June 18th. Is that right, Tasha?
I think you are right. Let me double check. Yep, June 18th.
I'm pretty good with numbers. That's one thing I'm good with.
You sure are.
Okay, so we want to make that a success. So let's work on trying to get to, and we're going to do some other fundraisers of different kinds, and we've had some good suggestions. But in order to keep things as safe as possible and as socially distant as possible, how we did it last year was when you picked up the subs, we had each person's subs individually set either in a box or in a bag or separately, and then we brought it out to the car. You would call us, or we'd see you come up to the edge of the steps, and we'd bring it out to the car to you at that time. So that's the way we would do it. So it all works out very well. All right. Any questions on that? All right. Chad, you want to give us one more trivia before I go into the final of the program there?
I'm gonna give you two.
All right.
What music festival is made in Manchester, Tennessee every year?
Bluegrass Festival.
There's a name for it. The festival.
Is it okay? I don't know. Don't know.
No idea? Bonnaroo.
Oh, okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
I could have actually gotten that one. My one trivia.
Hey, do you have any sports
Bombed it.
questions there? So there's something that Stephanie and I can get.
This
You
was-
can't sway the host.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take a Disney question.
Oh, no.
okay, this one's different. Okay, you know the planet Venus, like
Not very well.
I mean, you know of it. Okay.
I know of her,
You
yes.
know, okay.
I know
What
the
is-
song by Shocking Blue.
No, this is about the planet Venus, and so what is snow on that planet? What is considered snow on that planet? Like it's not like Earth.
I was gonna say, we know it's the hottest planet because we've had that trivia question before. Venus is the hottest planet, remember? So there couldn't be snow. It must be like ash or something.
Well, I mean, I would think Mercury would be hotter than Venus.
It is not,
Venus is the
because
hottest.
we got it wrong the first time.
But
Because that's what I thought too.
But like, I mean, what's actually considered snow? What's falls like snow on Venus? Wouldn't just
Something that falls like snow.
I don't even have a good guess.
Yeah. Ash.
well, I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Ash.
On
I think like
Earth,
ash of some sort.
on Earth, it's H2O, like water.
Okay.
On Venus, it's metal.
Metal.
Ooh.
That's
Wow.
spooky.
Wow. You'd have to have a pretty strong
It's
umbrella.
probably hot metal.
Wow.
What is the name of Batman's dad?
Mr. Wayne. Because he's Bruce Wayne, right?
How about
Isn't he Bruce
James?
Wayne the third though? So wouldn't his dad be Bruce Wayne the second? Isn't he Bruce Wayne the third, or am I wrong?
It's not Bruce.
Oh, never
I'll tell
mind.
you that.
Okay.
Michael.
No, it's Thomas Wayne.
Thomas
Hmm.
Wayne. Huh. Never heard that. I remember that.
I'm trying to like none of these. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. This is more of a. It's not like a sports, but it's a. What chess piece can cap? What chess piece can capture a piece without landing on its square? You know the game of chess.
Mhm.
Mhm.
What you can capture a piece without landing on the square. What chess piece can do that?
The diagonal one,
The bishop.
bishop.
It'd have to be a knight, wouldn't it?
That's what I thought. But
I'm
no.
going to say a pawn.
I didn't think any could.
I was gonna say a phone too.
Actually, Brian, you're right.
Oh,
Boo.
I don't even know how because they only move one place.
No,
No,
they can move two when they're first out or one.
Oh, okay, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
they
right.
can. Now, I have a
And then-
17 level Gary Kasparov chess computer, and I can beat it on the 13th level. And the only reason I can is because I cheat. I play it on the 17th level, and then I go back and remember those moves it used against me to use it against itself.
There's a special move. I forget what it's called, but if you trick the person into doing it, you can take their piece with a pawn without actually moving to that space
I'll have to look
they're
that up.
in.
Yeah, that's what the question was.
I'll have to look it up
Yeah.
what that's called.
Hmm.
'Cause there are very few
I
unusual
used to-
moves in chess. Most of them are pretty much segmented. The only one that's not really segmented is castling, which is something that you move more than one piece on your side on the same move. That's the only one you do.
Yeah, well, see, there's different tricks. Like, I can take out bishop and move it a certain place, and like, I pretty much try to get you to move a pawn,
Mhm.
and I can take your castle, and you can't do nothing about it. You just,
I'll have to play you sometime then, Chad.
it just, I haven't played chess in a while, but yeah, I used to.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll have to try to play over the computer sometime and see if we can do it that way. Okay.
I used to
I
trick
know,
my
I mean, I
dad
know
into
there's
that move all the
definitely-
time, but I don't remember how to do it anymore.
Well, a lot of people they're like, I mean, I can show you what the moves are, but yes, and it's like on when you play that game, you always have to think 3 moves ahead.
Yes.
Like, you can't just, oh, well, he can do it. No, you want to think he can go here, but then he can go here and then here. Like, it just, you gotta think like
Just
ahead.
like in baseball, right, Steph? Because you throw a fastball inside to set up the curveball, and the next pitch, so the guy's leaning away and he's leaning back away from the pitch. Absolutely.
And in softball, it's you throw a couple of fastballs and then you follow up with a changeup and.
Yep.
And then
the
you go
changeup
outside, outside, and then you come inside and they can't catch up.
And the changeup will just take you right out of your shoes then.
They'll swing 7 hours too early. Like they're swinging before it's even left their hand. It's great.
All right. Well, hey, our next Zoom program is scheduled for Wednesday, May 26th at 10 a.m. Our guest then will be Dr. Shannon Nikoloff. And Dr. Nikoloff is a licensed psychologist. And get this, she's a registered play therapist. So you'll have to tune in to find out more about what that means. And it's very interesting. You'll enjoy it. And she's also a certified yoga instructor. So we have another very interesting program set up for you for May 26th. So I hope to see all of you there. And I want to thank each of you for showing up. Kristen, thank you. Chad, Megan, Tasha, Steph, thank you very much for coming in today. And we'll see you all next week or next month again.
One more question.
Yes.
What's the minimum age you have to be a U.S. senator? You have to, like, this
36?
26?
No,
32.
getting closer.
40.
It's 30 then, right?
It's 30, I bet.
Yes.
21.
30.
How about mentally? If any of them qualified for that?
No.
All right, you guys, thanks a lot. You take care.
Thank you. Nice to see you guys.
Bye-bye.